Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Senior international envoys gather in New York to seek UN backing for an ambitious plan to bring about a negotiated end to Syria's brutal civil war. Yemeni warring sides agree to immediately resume humanitarian aid to the flashpoint city of Taiz at UN-sponsored peace talks. And a ceremony is held for the opening of Omani Women's Association in the Wilayah of Daba of Governorate of Musandam. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. Senior international envoys gather in New York today to seek UN backing for an ambitious US and Russian plan to bring about a negotiated end to Syria's brutal civil war. Washington and UN Syrian envoy Staffan de Mistura want President Bashar Assad's government and the armed groups raged against him to send delegates to peace talks sometime on or after January the 1st. If a ceasefire can be reached in Syria's 4.5-year-old civil war, then Syrian troops, Russia and a US-led coalition can focus their fire on the hardline Daesh group. Yesterday, the UN Security Council unanimously adopted a resolution to cut off funds for Daesh, an extremist group, in a firmer move by the international community to fight terrorism. Measures such as asset freeze, travel ban and arms embargo will be taken against Daesh that controls large swaths of Syria and Iraq, including oil and gas fields, according to the resolution. The resolution was adopted by the 15-nation UN body at an opening meeting chaired by US Treasury Secretary Jacob Lew, whose country holds the rotating council presidency for December. The United Nations Security Council is scheduled to meet today to discuss a complaint by Iraq over Turkish troops deployed to a camp near the northern Iraqi city of Mosul. Turkey deployed around 150 troops in the Bashika area this month, with a stated aim of training an Iraqi militia to fight Daesh. The Iraqi government says they are not welcome and must withdraw. Turkey withdrew some troops this week, moving them to another base inside Iraq's Kurdistan region, but Baghdad said they should pull out completely. In a letter dated 11th of December to the 15-member Security Council, Iraq's Foreign Minister Ibrahim al-Jafari complained that Turkey had violated his country's sovereignty and territorial unity and integrity. In a rare positive gesture yesterday, Yemen's Houthi rebels and fighters from the resistance movement, who are allied with President Abdurabu Mansur Hadi, exchanged hundreds of prisoners following delays caused by local tribesmen, angry at the exclusion of relatives from the deal. A deal to immediately resume humanitarian aid to the flashpoint Yemeni city of Taiz has been agreed at United Nations-sponsored peace talks between the warring sides in Switzerland. The UN envoy to Yemen, Ismail Wuld Sheikh Ahmed, welcomed the agreement as a major step forward that will ensure immediate action to alleviate the human suffering of the Yemeni people. The UN said issues on the agenda over the coming days would include developing a plan for a sustainable ceasefire and the release of prisoners. Yemen peace talks reached a deal on aid for flashpoint city of Taiz. European Union leaders gathered for the second day of 2015's final summit today after late-night talks where British Prime Minister David Cameron presented his country's demands on EU reforms. Cameron said he could see a pathway to a deal to keep Britain in the European Union after EU leaders told him at the summit in Brussels they would not accept discrimination against EU migrant workers in the UK. Leaders also pledged to fast-track the establishment of an EU border and Coast Guard force and decided to agree that details of the new border force by mid-next year. The leaders will also discuss the recently struck Paris Agreement on climate change, the fight against extremists, and the Economic and Monetary Union, with European Central Bank President Mario Draghi in attendance. Russian Defense Ministry invited Russian and international media today to the presentation of the black box retrieved from the crash site of the Russian bomber downed by a Turkish fighter jet near the Syrian border on November the 24th. Moscow denies the bomber crossed into Turkish airspace and hopes to prove it after deciphering the flight recorder from the downed plane. At the news conference, the head of the Deputy Commander of Russian Air Force, Sergei Dronov, said that so far only experts from China and Britain agreed to participate. Both were present at the presentation. The flight recorder was retrieved from a sealed box in front of the cameras and carried to a laboratory where it was subsequently opened up and the recording microchips were extracted. The results of the examinations are expected to be announced on Monday. Still to come in our news bulletin. With the active participation of students' theatre teams, the third University Theatre Festival is concluded in College of Applied Sciences in the Wilaya of Niswa. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Opec signs contracts for Lihua Plastic Industries Complex at Muscat Intercontinental Hotel in the presence of Their Excellencies the Ministers, Undersecretaries, Honorable Members of the State Council and members of the Shura Council and the local community members. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubei.
A rapidly growing business in the Middle East oil industry, Opec, Oman Oil Refineries and Petroleum Industries Company celebrated the signing of more than 15 agreements to build, operate and finance the Lihua Plastic Industries Complex. The formal agreement were signed by His Excellency Sultan bin Salim Al Habsi, the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of Opec, Musab Al Mahrouqi, along with the Chief Executive Officers and senior officials of awarded companies. Moreover, more than 20 local and international bank and financial institutions and exports credit agency committed to provide US $3.8 billion. His Excellency Engineer Salim bin Nasser Al Aufi, Undersecretary of the Ministry of Oil and Gas, has this to say.
Lihua Plastic project will add, will increase the value add to the nation in terms of the local investment and the local products. It's a stepping stone toward further industries in Oman, particularly on the plastic side. The project itself is about 4 main packages. There is the steam cracker, which is the biggest package. There is the pipeline, of course, from Fahoud, the NGL extraction from the gas stream, which is a major component because that component today is going into the power sector, which is burnt. The project will extract it and add value from it. In total, the project, of course, will cost about 6.4 billion. The majority of that financing is from outside the country, so there's little strain on the country financial.
The high-profile event, which was held at Muscat Intercontinental Hotel, was celebrated with traditional performances rejoicing Oman and its rich diversity. In his opening speech, His Excellency Sultan bin Salim Al Habsi, Chairman Opec, stated this project will enhance the in-country value of products and will provide the necessary materials to grow a downstream sector in the Sultanate, with a focus on the plastic industry. LPIC will also enhance the contribution of the industrial sector towards domestic production to 9% by 2020 and will create more than 13,000 new employment opportunities for Omanis. Her Excellency Italian Ambassador Paolo Amadel has this to say.
And we are very happy today celebrating the signing of this contract. One Italian leading company coming to Oman, working together with Omani, with Opec, with Omani companies, in a context which is an excellent context. Italian and Omani relations are really excellent, and I'm really happy today to see that one more Italian company will be based here, working in Oman.
And from the Italian company's chairman, Di Amato, and chief executive officer, Pier Roberto, have these to say.
We are happy to be here because thanks our knowledge, our capability, we can put in place of your country, our knowledge, and then we want to increase the relationship with our country and your country. We are leader in this field, and then for your country is an important for the industrialization of the country.
It will be a long-term collaboration. That's the way we would like to develop the relationship. So it will be important to deliver, first of all, but after the delivery, it would be very important for us to be along with the country for a long period of time.
These projects will cement Opec's position as a market leader in Oman, the Middle East, and the international oil and gas sector. From the signing ceremony center at Intercontinental Hotel, I'm Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television.
On the occasion of the Sultanate's celebrations of the 45th Glorious National Day, an artistic operetta, Must of Glory, was held at Al Marouj Theatre in the Wilaya of Salalah. The operetta was organized by Omani Women's Association of the Governorate of Dhofar. It included 11 portraits which highlighted the main arts that the Governorate of Dhofar is famous for. The event was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Saeed Al Kalbani, Minister of Social Development. The premises of Omani Women's Association was officially opened in the Wilaya of Daba in the Governorate of Musandam. The inauguration ceremony included an induction show for projects, courses, activities and events of the association in the Wilaya, in addition to opening an exhibition of school female students and members of the association for artistic pieces and national drawing. The ceremony also included the inauguration of a heritage village, which included a number of traditional crafts such as weapons, ships and palm fronds industries. The inauguration ceremony was presided over by Her Excellency Sheikha Aisha bint Khalfan Al Siabia, chairperson of the Public Authority for Crafts and Industries. Health Week, held by Hajarmid Health Center in the Wilaya of Ibri, seeks to introduce citizens and society to the prevention of infectious and non-communicable diseases through a number of aimed health and awareness activities. It gave the opportunity to the citizens to benefit from the events and activities of the week, which was entitled Your Health is Our Goal. An accompanied exhibition for the Health Week was organized by the Nutrition Department of the center. It also included awareness lectures and site visits, in addition to other health programs and activities. The Wilaya of Saham in the Governorate of North Batina celebrated the conclusion of the training course organized by the Directorate of Endowments and Religious Affairs in the Wilaya of Sohar for a number of imams and preachers of mosques, with the aim of raising their levels in reciting the Holy Quran with continual readings about the Prophet, peace be upon him. The conclusion ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Hamid bin Hilal Al Mamari, Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Heritage and Culture for Cultural Affairs. The ceremony included reciting the Holy Quran, nasheeds and a number of aimed theatre plays. The national awareness campaign, The Stability of My Family is My Responsibility, was concluded in the Wilaya of Mahut in the Governorate of Wusta. The three-day campaign was organized by the Ministry of Social Development, represented by National Committee for Family Affairs. It witnessed a wide participation from various government establishments and society members. The campaign included giving lectures and dialogue sessions with the participation of educational experts from Sultan Qaboos University, in addition to specialists and guides in the field of family and children. It focused on the importance of family integrity and it targeted various society segments. The third University Theatre Festival concluded in Applied Science College in Lihua under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Ali bin Nasser Al Marouki, Secretary General of the Shura Council. It witnessed a wide participation from student teams interested in the theatre. The three-day event included various plays that came to shed light on student talents and performances. It was also an opportunity to exchange expertise in this field. During the conclusion ceremony, the participants were honored and certificates of excellence were distributed to them. The attendees praised the good performance of the students and expressed that the bodies concerned should further support the youth talents in this field. The state of Qatar celebrated its National Day, which falls on the 18th of December. The celebration this year came among a number of developments achieved by the country in various fields under the leadership of His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Emir of the State of Qatar. During the celebration, His Highness witnessed the 8th National March Show, which was held at the Seaside Road in Doha. He also observed the Horse and Camel Show, a performance of parachute team affiliated to Qatari Armed Forces, military march, as well as watercraft show, in addition to a group of performances presented by children. December the 18th is a precious anniversary for the hearts of Qatari people and for all who live in Qatar, and it came to shed light on the major development achievements in various fields, including education, establishment of schools and universities, according to the latest standards. The country also made progress in providing advanced health services through hospitals and centers equipped with latest technology and qualified human capabilities. The country's progress in economic, social, as well as political fields made a number of world countries benefit from the Qatari experience, creating a generation equipped with skills and knowledge so as to face the challenges and fulfill the march of the development. Beijing issued its second red alert for air pollution today, warning residents to prepare for another wave of severe smog, which is expected to arrive over the weekend. Heavy pollution and smog is expected to shroud Beijing from tomorrow until Tuesday. Vehicles with odd and even license plate numbers will be allowed on alternative days. There is an advisory for kindergartens, primary schools and high schools to cancel classes, as well as suspension of production at certain factories and construction sites. A red alert is the most severe in a four-tier warning system. This time's red alert came more than a week after the first one issued on December the 7th. Now for the general weather forecast. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with low cloud accumulation over coastal areas of Sea of Oman. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate over coastal areas of the Sea of Oman, while it will be northerly to northwesterly light to moderate along the rest of the Sultanate. Seas along the coast of the Sea of Oman will be moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. Rest of the coast, it will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Senior international envoys gather in New York to seek UN backing for an ambitious plan to bring about a negotiated end to Syria's brutal civil war. Yemeni warring sides agree to immediately resume humanitarian aid to the flashpoint city of Taiz at UN-sponsored peace talks. And a ceremony is held for the opening of Omani Women's Association in the Wilaya of Daba of Governor of Musandam. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.